Alrighty, folks, give me just a minute here doing final setup, and we will get right into it. Alrighty. I think that about does it. Alrighty, folks, shall we? Let's get this, shall we? Let's do our best. Let's have a great time of it. All that magic. I'm gonna try something slightly different to start things off here today, and depending on how it goes, it may change how we approach our early game run. Significantly, and well, maybe significantly enough. I don't know. Like, on one hand, our run is kind of what it is, and that is just fine. But on the other hand, we may also approach it with some slightly different energy. We'll kind of see. We'll kind of see. But I think it's only fitting that the Grundler gets to come back out. Yeah, you know what, honestly, yeah. I think the Grundler has earned his place in our history as far as it stands, so I think the Grundler is how we are going to approach today. If there is a character that has more than earned their place as our no-hitting champs, I think the Grundler and Mr. Nuts himself has definitely earned it. Cock and Balls has also definitely done a pretty good job, admittedly, but Mr. Nuts and Cock and Balls are essentially the same characters, so, you know, there's that. But nevertheless, we are going to do our best, we're going to have a great time of it, we're going to hopefully fucking cook in real time. Actually, I'm going to real quickly... There we go. Just had to adjust my mic ever so slightly there. Not a volume setting thing, but just adjust it out of the way because I do not want any extra distractions, or at least as best as I can help it, as far as it stands. But yeah, I already kind of described it earlier in the Discord, but as the title suggests, this is probably, like, in this case, this run and maybe, like, 1 or 2 more, depending on how things go. It really depends in this case, but by the end of the week here, we are going to probably be putting this on a back burner. So whether we get it or not doesn't really matter anymore. It is simply just whatever it is by the time we hit Monday/Tuesday, that is what it is. So we either get it, great, awesome, I would fucking love that. If we don't get it, though, we are going to go ahead and take a break from it. It's all there, honestly. It is definitely all there. It just, at this point in time, I think it's just a matter of I have been sinking an absolute shit ton of time into this, frankly, right now, and I would like to get back to doing other things, admittedly, again. It is turned into an absolute Elden Ring no-hit fest, which is fun. But likewise, it is also definitely consuming. And not that the last couple of runs should be indicative of what's going on here. It's more like it's just, in general, I've been wanting to be able to get back into other things again here, and this has definitely become the unintentional blockade to that, so that's really, I think, what it boils down to, more than anything else. So. Huh. I just realized that lock-on was actually, like, incredibly far away. Like, way further away than I was actually expecting that to work. Huh, odd. Anyways, I think, as I was mentioning, I think what we are going to try and do off-rip, and this may not be the safest strategy in the world, obviously. Well, obviously by a long fucking shot. But I am going to try it out and see what happens with it. Is we're actually going to pivot our normal routing, and while we will end up having to come back through and kind of doing some of the routing, admittedly, I kind of want to do this so early that it... Oh, right, I have to actually fucking sit down and get to it. I want to try and do it so early to do a test purely for it. In this case, I would like to test it out and see how it functions reasonably.
Have you heard of they, sir? But you, I can play turning root to aid you. You need to the foot.
Because it would change, at least to a certain extent, it would change how we view the run overall. So, I would like to put this into effect, at least to test it out one time, and just see, hey, is this meaningful? Does this make reasonable amounts of sense for me to go and do this so early into the run? Or am I just essentially just kind of baking halfway? And the reality is I already have exactly what I need for the right route. I'm still gonna probably tack in small things that I would have normally picked up anyways. But the real idea here is more or less to say, hey, let's just go ahead and do what we wouldn't normally do up front. It'll come with some different stipulations and like restrictions and whatnot, but in this case, assuming that this goes the way that it should, then it should in theory go pretty okay. Pretty okay for the most part. So yeah, I just realized I'm doing this at nighttime, which means there's gonna be, I think in this case, some bats over here. Yeah. Whoops. Well, as long as one of them doesn't accidentally shout at me. Well, I think what we'll do is if I accidentally get hit anyways, I think I'll just run it for a little bit longer, because this one is kind of starting off as that test more than anything else. I did do testing on it a little bit the other day, just to kind of get an idea of what I was looking at here. But the reality is I mean, there's still more than enough chance that this idea that I have gets us hit even on the way over. So we'll see. We'll see. I'd like to imagine that what we're going to do here is actually going to be significant enough, and it's going to completely change how this all gets approached. And it hopefully cuts our time frame down in the early game by a significant amount. Instead of having to run around and collect as many small stones as we end up collecting in order to get our weapon up to +7, we'll just have the bell bearing to do the exact same job, is pretty much what this would boil down to. So I would like to see that go into effect. And likewise, I don't know, we might just end up saying fuck it this time around and killing Grail. We might. We might, because it would be hard to ignore the fact that Grail is worth an absolute shit ton and a half. And at least until I learn how to do one of the proper boss cheeses, in order to get an absolute shit ton of runes, which, as far as it stands, one of them might technically be easier to do, but I don't really know how to do it terribly well, so I'm not going to pretend like I do. And then the other one is definitely harder, so I'm not going to pretend like I even fucking know how to scrape that one. Do want this guy's grace, because I am going to eventually, I think, want to come back to him. I think, in this case, he is a recurring stop for me. And likewise, if, again, for some reason I fuck up on a certain portion of this, I want to be able to have that spot to go back to in order to get the fake talisman. Because I haven't done it in a little bit here, but I am totally not exempt from fucking up on that. So prefer to just come prepped for the potential fuck up on that. Yeah. like I said, we're going to change it up kind of drastically here, to the point to where we're not even going to actually go after what we normally go after here, which is we go down to Borealis first and everything. We're actually going to go immediately to the cave system. Actually, I scratched that ever so slightly. We are going to go towards Borealis first, but Borealis, we're going to get the Grace behind him, and then we're going to leave. Because we still need the key, ideally. So it just makes sense more so than anything to essentially go down this way, do things the way that we have been doing it, more or less. And essentially, in this case, when we're going this way, get the Grace behind Borealis. And then after we've gotten the Grace behind Borealis, then we'll go down towards that cave system. But, again, not really too much time shaved off. Or too much time wasted. We would have had to gone this way anyways, so... And, yeah. We'll see. We'll see. It could equate to something meaningful. Alright, I do have my bow equipped. I am going to need the bow. I am going to still probably end up doing the small little spot right behind over to the other side here. Go shoot all the weather balloons. So that way we can get our easy 10k. Because that 10k might admittedly just pay for some shit. I mean, it definitely will. But it's good to go and prep for it. Alright. Right now, I do know I need to watch my timing here at least a little bit, because lighting that Grace does put me off kilter from what I'm supposed to have here. Yeah, okay, never mind, that worked out exactly the way it was supposed to. Good. Alright, cool, awesome. Yeah, we do want to get all of these, just because that is just insanely easy money to leave on the table. Essentially saves us from having to even consider an extra small boss or something like that, so... Okay, there's that. Awesome. Now, we are going to go across the bridge. We go down into the cave system one way or another here. We're not going to actually do any dilly-daddling on this one. The idea here is for us to essentially just book it once we get inside the cave system. The one thing we will end up doing is we're probably going to get the Grace inside of there and then Grace out. So that way it resets exact positions. Because from the testing I did do the other night, it looks like in this case, if we were to essentially book it through the cave system with exact everything, then it just kind of works exactly for us. So... go. Remember to double jump here, because unfortunately, it turns out if you fucking hit the rocks right there, you just die instantaneously. Haha, funny. I mean, I guess it's kind of funny. It is. It was actually... that really was just the universe telling me to put it down for the night, admittedly, at that point. The fact that we fucking scraped on the rocks on the way down and fucking died to that was unfortunate, to say the least, but it was pretty funny. Alright. As I mentioned here, we get the Grace. We're actually going to Grace out. 192 runes be damned. Alright, and then we book it. Like, legitimately at this point, it is just straight up cheesing it, strats. With, like, occasionally picking up some rocks, but the fact of the matter is picking up rocks right now is a secondary thing for us to do. We should not be focused on it as much as just cheesing it. So. Also, I gotta kind of keep an eye on my, my stamina at least a little bit here. Now, the good news here is actually I do have these kukri, so one of these cycles doesn't really matter as much, but it's still important to at least keep track of it. Alright, that old man did have his back turned to the situation, but that's fine. We're okay. We're okay. Okay, that guy's not supposed to be following so close to us, but it's okay. It's okay. We're going to go down too quickly for him to catch up. I was going to say, if he tried to follow us down any faster than that, he would have killed himself, so... Okay. Risky strategy, admittedly. But we're at our bell-bearing boss, so... There we go. Broken. Okay, there we go. Definitely more intensive overall doing it that way. And don't get me wrong, this guy is not paying for anything, he's not paying for anything major, but point still stands. We have our first bell bearing, we no longer have to overthink it when it comes to certain things, which is pretty good. Now at this point in time, I'm going to go ahead and book it down towards Boggart. While we still have pretty much a good chunk of what our early game would have been anyways to do here, this at least means now that we have the bell bearing, so we don't have to go around collecting all of the smithy stones. We might still pick up the ones that are easily in our route, but we don't have to think about everything. We really just have to think about the bare minimums, which are our talisman locations, Dectus Half locations, and Cragblade location. Those are the primaries that we have to think about. So, awesome. Cool. And as far as it stands at this point, we're going to go ahead and go get the Boggart Grace, and then I think we're actually going to Boggart off for a little bit as we go and deal with Limgrave proper. So, this technically means that we no longer have to go towards Weeping, which is also nice. Because Weeping was what was required for the Smithy 2 to get completely wrapped up. But because we don't have to do that anymore, well, yeah. Weeping is no longer on the menu. By at least a certain number of Smithy stones, rather. Alright. Again, not killing him yet. Do not fucking bother him past just getting his grace. We are going to go ahead and head back to In this case, I think we need to go back to Gatefront. And from Gatefront, now we can start our normal route. We do still end up getting the flail. Flail is a requirement to murder Boggart, at least. Or at least it makes the job really fucking easy, you know. So that is the primary behind murdering him. Okay, this guy's just choosing to be delightfully close right now. We'll still end up collecting the stones that we need to for the most part because, well, it just makes reasonable amounts of sense when it's en route. But we're not gonna overextend ourselves or overexert anything more than we need to, unless it's something that makes a lot of sense. So. But I do like the fact that this will probably mean that we will not have to overthink it as much anymore when it comes to these things. We just have access to them. So. Likewise, I'm thinking about it. I don't actually need to go and run and get the Grace on the lake. We could just head this way. And I haven't done this in a while, but fuck it. Let's try it real quickly. I'm gonna go after this Foulfoot up here, because these guys with daggers aren't exactly a threat. They don't have ranged options, or at least meaningful ranged options. So fuck it. That is money for us. And actually, you know what? That probably was a good idea, because that's extra money. So cool. Very, very cool. It can't really say any of these money spots are going to be worth picking up, but fuck it, it's money. So. Alright. Now, even though it's a little bit out of sequence, we're going to go and do Fort Height, and I think in this case, Fort Height, I know the other night I did it the spiteful way, but I'm going to go ahead and go back to the safe method to the madness. So that way we hopefully don't get a Fort Height easy KO. I would prefer not to get KO'd at Fort Height. Alright, and I would also hope that this dog doesn't suddenly decide that he wants to fucking charge me down like he did the other night. Like that. He's trying to fucking charge my ass down very quickly there. Asshole. Jackass. Understandable. So yeah, as far as it stands, our talismans stay the same, so we are going to still end up getting the 4 talismans that we have gotten on every run so far, at least. Do need this Grace, because this Grace does actually get us back to where we need to be. With my shenanigans, now that I'm realizing it, we actually have a few less arrows than I would have had, normally speaking. So hopefully 14 arrows is enough for what I have to do here. It should be, in theory. You know, as long as my shots aren't... You know what, actually, it's 24 arrows total, technically speaking, so... But, point still stands. Alright, 1 and 2. Beautiful. I forgot how I figured it out last time, but I think I was able to do this. No, I was not. Thank you so much, Grundler, for doing the weirdest and wackiest shit. Okay. I know that's one fire arrow, but frankly, perfect spot to use a fire arrow as far as I'm concerned, so yeah, that works out. There we go, kill that guy. Beautiful. Murdered. Alright, good. That rat did not notice us. I guess there must be something about stealth. Beautiful. Okay, that's all the guys. Ha, 69. Nice. I'm so sorry. That was a badass joke. Not badass in a like, oh my god, that was so cool kind of way, but just the fucking dumb. It was dumb. Should be about right there. Right there. Beautiful. You know, again, I didn't need to get that one, but getting it wasn't too far out of the way, I guess. So, I'm so muscle memory trained at this point. I'm so fucking stone pilled that I can't fucking help myself. There we go. Awesome possum. I don't know why I was about to go off into a completely random direction there, but that would have been dumb and bad and stupid. Okay. Strength Talisman. And then we can go ahead and go murder Kenneth Haight and get the money in front of his house. All that magic jazz. Probably close enough here to where we're gonna go kill Boggart. Actually, do we kill Boggart? Yeah, we do kill Boggart first, because we need the balls to start doing murdering. Oh, I guess we don't need it, but it definitely helps. Not much is sure. I'm gonna need my armor here soon enough in order to prevent poison proccing once we're in Caelid. There we go. Okay. I need to remember before I do Fort Faroth, I have to go and spend this money, or at least most of it. So, actually, how many stones am I at right now? I'm currently at 6. Okay, I'm gonna buy the ones off the merchant. I'm gonna buy the ones off the merchant, actually, that we're running right past. And I might go spend a little bit of extra money in Liurnia, too, while we're at it. Because I only want 1,200 runes, roughly, for Caelid. I'm hung. Me too, man. Me too. Okay. There we go. Steal all of that man's gardening. Unfortunate, but true. Okay. Alright, root resin collected. Awesome. I think there's another tree, actually, that's right over here, if I'm not mistaken, that has a little bit... There it is. Not that I really probably need all of that extra root resin. I just like to have the extra stacks because, well, fuck it, why not?
Hello? Is anybody there? Someone who might be interested in rescuing the great... Goodness gracious! Lost.
There he goes. Wait for the rune pop. There we go. Kenneth Haight's been grundled. Unfortunate, but true. The poor bastard. Alright. There we go. Awesome. Didn't mean to do that in that way. Sure, thank you, game. Okay, all the extra money picked up there. Awesome possum. Let's go to Caelid, get that Grace and Caelid that we need in this case, and then we can pretty much just keep going from there. So. Hey there, Vexu. Welcome to the chat. Hope you're doing well today. You know, my day's pretty good. My day's pretty good overall. I can't reasonably complain right now. Work was more than a fair bit busy and everything, but you know what? Honestly, that is work just in general. But frankly, it was productive. I felt overall pretty good about it. And I mean, hey, I got to make some decent enough food tonight, so good shit. Looking forward, I think, either way, regardless of whatever happens with these runs, I'm looking forward to just kind of doing things afterwards, frankly. I think I'm actually really, really excited about that. So. How many times do I think I've beaten the game? I'd have to say I'm probably in the hundreds, realistically. Probably. Didn't mean to do that. There we go. I'd have to imagine I'm in the hundreds, just because I've definitely, like, this game is, in a lot of ways, my bread and butter. So I have definitely played it a lot. Okay, there we go. Got that equipped. Awesome. That being said, honestly, there's still probably shit that I have not seen about this game at all. Guaranteed. You beat the game 15 times? Honestly, fair. Like, as far as it stands, honestly, actually, I love this game a lot, so I do end up playing it a shit ton because of that fact. And I guess, to be fair, there's definitely a lot of runs where it's more so that I've reset than rather just, like, beaten it out fully. But total, I would say I'm in the hundreds. On the higher end of the hundreds, probably. But, like, playing the game, yeah, I would say playing the game, I'm on the higher end of the hundreds, but beating it, I would say I'm probably, like, I don't know, maybe, like, 200-300 times, roughly. Maybe. I'm not entirely sure on that one, but I do adore this game. Do I know any famous Elden Ring YouTubes? So, like, I watch, but I don't think I don't really know any of them, admittedly. I have admittedly not quite hit that point in Elden Ring stardom. That one's not for me just yet, but I don't know. I'd love to meet at least a couple of them, probably. Some of them seem really nice, frankly. Actually, for all intents and purposes, some of them I think I want to meet more so, even though they're not quite as good at the game, but they just seem like really, really good people. What ones do I watch? So primary ones that I definitely watch would probably be like Gino Machino and Little Aggie. I was watching Bushy for a little bit of time, but I don't know. I haven't been watching his stuff as much lately. No particular reason. I think it's just, unfortunately, something with Night Rain. I just got tired of Night Rain, and unfortunately that's what he was kind of doing a lot of for his content at that point, so... Still like him a lot, though. I think he's really fun. Also do still watch a good amount of Lobos Jr., but I don't know if Lobos is really as popular anymore, necessarily. He was more of an old head in the Souls community. I do still watch some Distortion. So, you have a platinum on Night Rain? Very cool. I admittedly do not care to continue playing Night Rain at all, honestly. Well, at least like on a general sense of like I don't really want to play much more of it at the moment. I still like the game. I think I got way too much of it, and I actually managed to get pretty tired of it, which is kind of impressive. I was not expecting to get tired of that. Alright, do all of that. We have that. We have the Beast Torch. Why don't I want to do Fort Faroth just yet? Is there a reason? Yes, it was a little bit of extra money that I have on me right now. That's why. Okay. Alright, we're gonna go more, go and murder, Boggart right now. Murder Boggart. Oh, actually, I'm just realizing we don't have the... Never mind. God, I guess I have to do this a little out of order, huh? Okay, alright, whatever, it's fine. We'll do it a little out of order from what... Because I don't want to level any decks, if I can help it.
Forgive me.
Do I do randomized? Yes, I do. I've done a fair amount of randomization, and I've also done a fair amount of randomized no-deathing. I haven't dipped my toes in no-death, or I'm sorry, no-hit for randomized yet, but... well, honestly, this last month and a half or so has just been, like, practicing no-hitting for the most part, so... Now, let's go turn in the bell bearing, and then we're going to go and buy as much stonage as we can with our 2200, and then we're going to dip. A little out of order for what I normally do here, but it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. There we go. Let's go back to Fort Faroth. Now we need to do Fort Faroth. Hey, Randall, how you doing tonight, buddy? Good seeing you. Alright, cool. Exactly what needed to happen. Very cool. Alright, we don't need to leave the armor on anymore, but I'm just going to leave it on right now because I don't want to worry about menuing while I'm doing all this. Because pretty much, like, the amount of time we spend in here is meant to be as fast as possible. So. Big chillin' trying to get signed up for your electrician classes. Ooh, okay. Cool beans, man. Nice. Cool stuff. Okay. I guess since we're here and we're already doing shit in Caelid, I'm just gonna go ahead and wrap up my my Caelid right now because I don't want to have to come back to get Cragblade. I'd rather just get it done. So we're just gonna go and do it now. We still need, I think, a couple more Smithy 2s if I'm not mistaken. Wrong way on the menuing. Yeah, we need 3 more Smithy 2s. Once we get the money off of the Caelid Brawl, we should be fine on that. And in fact, actually, that'll give me a chance to take a sip of my beverage, so that'll be awesome. Very cool. Randall, I gotta say, man, you missed it last night, right after you left. I was trying out the spirit spring that I was talking about the other day, like, oh, this will save me so much headache for having to hop all the way down in Liurnia. Didn't realize how, unfortunately, it's one of the few spirit springs they never updated properly. So I didn't do like a full jump believing like, oh, well, I'll be fine as long as I just land down there beside it. I scraped along the wall ever so slightly on the way down, and then immediately fucking died to goofball-ass Elden Ring falling spot bullshit. So that was really cool. It was a good way to end the night. It was funny, actually, for all it's worth. It was not funny in the moment. It was definitely a big ol' F you to the universe kind of moment, but it was funny. NGL. Alright, remove all that. I do actually need the Kukri back. I'm sorry, Kukri. The katana back out for a minute. Because I do need the katana for the, whatchamacallit. For the scarab. At least it would make my life easier if I was using katana for it, so. You're in the DLC right now, Bakshu? Very nice. DLC, I wish I had a little bit more love for the DLC. I wish I did. I think it really boils down to the Skadgetry system that they added in, the Shadow Tree system that they added in. It was a good idea in theory, it just not in practice in the way that they did it, in my opinion, but it's really good for a first playthrough, but after that first playthrough, the way they're spread out makes it very much so not very fun to have to go back and try and do it again, because it is just a guaranteed slog. So, Lands Between had it out for me. Dude, yeah, it really fucking did. It really did that night. Fucking immediately, and I can't, you know what, actually, I can't even blame the loss at the beginning of the run on the Lands Between. That was just me being dumb. Me making a really bad mistake, frankly. I should have never, ever went right into Radahn without getting a little bit more warmed up on the sticks. Especially after taking a weekend off. That was dumb. That was really dumb on my part. Probably not going to be two-handed katana, but it should be okay. Yeah, I'm definitely not. Alright, there we go. Cool. And I'm going to let this all happen in front of me while I take a quick sip of my beverage. Alrighty. Okay, I think that's probably close to good enough. Let me see how many Smithy 6s I have, actually. Okay, I have 9, we need 3 more. I don't know how much they cost in shop specifically, but we should be good on that. And good news is actually I think we can get our balls up to +7 as per usual anyways, so this works out just fine. How much time have we? 40 minutes in, okay, gotcha. Okay. Is there anything I'm missing right now? No, I don't think so, actually. I think we're fine. I think we got everything we need to, Wait, no. I am missing some stuff. Yes. I forgot to go through the second side of Limgrave. We don't have Golden Bough. And we also don't have, Artist Shack. Yeah, we don't have that stuff unlocked right now, so we need to go do that at this moment. We need to go get Bernal as well. So, especially considering right after this, we're going to essentially go right into a boss. And then we're going to go get the Smithy 3-4 bell bearing. And after that point, that's when we go ahead and pivot. And we go deal with, what's his face? Bernal. Sorry. Oh, motherfucker. Shit, I almost want to run. Alright, well, I mean, I do have my bow. Okay, the chip damage on that is good enough. Sure, fuck it. We don't really need all of our arrows. It's a little unfortunate that I, for some reason, didn't get the riposte there while he was laying on his back, but frankly, playing that out as a close encounter, that guy wins 9 times out of 10 because of his fucking shield. And it's only because he's one of the shield poker dudes. He's not worth the effort. He's not hard, obviously, but in a no-hit situation, you shouldn't be playing that game. Alright, Bernal bell bearing. Or not Bernal bell bearing, but Bernal Grace grabbed. Please grab the ledge. Okay, please grab the ledge. Thank you. There we go. Awesome. Please. Okay. Alright, I guess we can do it that way. Sure, fuck it. There we go. There's all my money. I'm sorry. There's all my money. Alright, cool. Now we can go ahead and book it on down towards the Green Turtle Talisman and all that shite. And we'll be good to go. Funny enough, I keep picking up that Exalted Flesh, and yet I have yet to find a good enough place to actually use it, I guess. Maybe we could use it, maybe we could use it for Adula. If I intend to actually fight Adula. That could potentially be an idea, I guess. That could be an idea for that. Alright, that's fine. We're gonna need more Smithy 2s, or more Smithies anyways in the future here. Because we will eventually be pivoting into spiky balls. So that works out. Alright, we're gonna get this Grace. We're gonna go get Artist Shack, and then we're gonna come back to this Grace. And then once we officially wrap up everything in Limgrave, then we are on to Liurnia, at least for a little while. Or at least, we'll be handling a majority of our shit that we need to from Altus, really. Okay. Alright, cool. I mentioned it briefly, or, well, briefly enough in the Discord on what the game plan is for, like, the near future here, and we are going to end up doing, obviously, a handful of randomized just speed runs in this case, because I want to do something a little different with Elden Ring. I don't want to full drop it cold turkey, but I want to at least get some new shit in. And while we're doing those those randomized speed runs, we're also going to be exploring into Kingdom Hearts 2 as well, which that one will be interesting, because that one I think we'll actually be streaming it from Twitch, and likely the VODs will be uploaded after to YouTube, but it's mainly just to kind of do some testing, I guess, in this case, to see how it floats on... Did I make this fall? Yeah, I definitely make this fall. We'll just kind of be doing that to kind of see how it floats and see if there's any significant difference out of doing it on there. Now, obviously, there's going to be a difference in terms of how I normally do my streams. Streaming anymore for me usually is on PC, but for using Twitch, that ends up being actually on console. For all of it. Alright, now let's go get our upgrades done. And then we are off to Altus to go and get ourselves the bell-bearing 3-4. Or I forgot a fucking step again, and I forgot to go murder Bernal. Or, I'm sorry, not Bernal, Boggart. Beautiful.
Damn it.
Didn't actually mean to set the grace, but sure, fuck it, whatever. Alright, cool. Let's go turn in that talisman. Let's go turn in that pendant. Get access to Mount Gelmir. I can't necessarily say that we've done like a lot and a half that's different from this one. The big thing I think that's changed so far for this run is that we're not going to be going to Weeping.
Oh, to bless the Thugsleys. The Thugsleys.
There we go.
Did
Cool.
I forget? I see you are very to study such, please. Brave to most time. But you are no volcano.
Alright. Now we can go off towards Altus. Which we'll do the Altus trip first, I guess, because I'm already here. But once we're done with the Altus trip, then we're going to come back to Round Table before we go into the cave system and handle all of our small things that we need to do, like leveling up our balls, cragging our balls, goldening our vows, essentially just prepping ourselves for damage output, so that way we can start doing some damage. Because we'll need to go through the 3-4 bell-bearing cave with that in mind. I do want to hopefully kill the miners that are in there, and ideally get like a handful of extra Smithy 5s, if possible. Otherwise, we just get the natural ones that are in the cave, or the natural one, my bad. And we leave it at that. And then we get the one extra, and that'll essentially satisfy a requirement later on to take spiky balls up to a plus 13. So. No, that's not a glowing skull. I don't think it was. Didn't look like it. I mean, it's really funny. I kind of almost wonder if I'm just going to end up getting this off-stream one of these days. The run in general. Like, we're essentially there in every facet. It's just there's such a... obviously such a tight rope to walk when it comes to doing these no-hits that you just kind of have to eat it for what it is when bad things happen. And really, a lot of it kind of just comes down to what is the bad thing that happened and how can you avoid it. That's really honestly a lot of it. Not how do you skill your way around it for the most part, but rather how do you just avoid it. Because there's definitely, obviously, always ways to skill around a majority of things in these games. For the most part, at least, in Elden Ring especially. But in Elden Ring, I would also say that there's a fair number of chances where you can't skill through everything. So sometimes you just have to find the way to gimmick it out and really, honestly, avoid the damage to begin with. I love that for that small tree. Good for that small tree. I think I've gotten stuck on that small tree before, admittedly. Alright, 2,900 is not going to help me really afford much, but it will help me afford to level up on my balls. It'll also probably help me afford at least a teensy bit of what I'm going to need for leveling up. And other than that, I think we're essentially on track. I think we're exactly where we need to be as far as the run stands right now. So good. He didn't chase us well enough. Awesome. This is why we do things on horseback. Alright, he's left. Awesome. Now we can go ahead and head back to the table. Level up our balls, crag our balls, and then also golden our dagger. Which we don't have a dagger yet, but we will be changing that. Don't need that. Won't need this. As far as it stands, I don't think we need the kukri for a little bit here. We're in a little bit of a gray spot where we no longer need that for at least a tiny bit. There we go. And we're just going to level up our balls as much as we can and start cooking. Doesn't really matter at this point. Yes, we can take them up to 8. Against the miners, we don't need to worry about a damage cap. Really, more damage is actually genuinely better for them anyways, so that's fine. That works out exactly the way we want it to. I do need to sell some shit. I do need to get... Okay, 10k is more than we need, but it'll be fine. We're not gonna need to grace out for any reason, so... Okay, there we go. Okay, that should be everything that we need to worry about for right now. And now we are off to Old Tunnel. Whoops, I forgot to put on Golden Dagger. There we go. Cool. Alright. So, I think that's everything that we need to think about. Once we get our once we get our 3-4 bell bearing and whatever else is inside of that cave system, then at that point we can go and dip. I mean, our balls are already at a +8 right now. And as I accidentally found out like 2 or 3 times ago, we can actually just kind of take on what's-his-face without having to think about it at a +7. So we should be okay with a +8 actually against Bernal. So I think we're just going to go right to Bernal and just murder him now once we're done in here. Yeah, you know, actually, I'm going to say that's exactly what the plan is. Alright, do that. This guy's wandering down towards us. We ignore him. Walk up here. Drop down here. Walk up behind him. Smash his backside in. Awesome. Beautiful. Absolutely murder this man. Poor little lad. Dang! Okay, no extra Smithy 5s for us today, I guess. Alright, well. Okay, never mind. Not so much luck on that one, at least for us. I'm gonna go get this money real quickly, because I think this is a 5 right here, and, I mean, money is money. Okay. There we go. Bernal. That is not his. Alright, let's go murder the shit out of Bernal.
What's wrong with you?
A lot.
You are an enigma. To be certain, the volcano manor awaits you.
Okay, there's that. Awesome. Let's go back to table. Go cash in as best as possible on that. Alright, we need a good amount of money.
Well, I took you no matter to lay out your own.
Actually, I just realized I'm missing, technically missing a step, but we're going to need a good amount of money one way or another, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, there we go. There's all of that. Wait, we only have 3 of our talismans right now? Oh, yeah. Okay, never mind. Took me way too long of a second there to remember what my final talisman was, but I remember now. Okay. Yeah, it makes more than enough sense that we don't have it just yet. Our weapon does need to level up one more time on that front, and I do need all the stones required for +12, just to make sure these are at +8, so we need 6 3s. Now, something I found out probably, in just a random side fact here, but I thought about it because of how I said 6 3s in that way. But I think in this case, it's kind of a funny childhood memory kind of thing. But at the same time, it's really interesting how it actually was something real, ultimately, and it wasn't just like some weird made-up game that they made purely for the movie. I remember that in the Pirates of the Caribbean movie, the third one in this case, They had been playing a game by the name of what's known as Liar's Dice, and I always used to... I never knew, until I was older, that that was actually a real fucking game. And I was pleasantly surprised when I found out ultimately that that was a real thing. And it's a really fun game, actually. It genuinely is. It really just kind of comes down to just calling shit, for the most part. But it's like statistical calling shit. So you pretty much just have to look at your other opponents and say, okay, well, he might have... Each of us has this many dice, roughly. This guy might have this many dice, but we all have roughly this many dice left on the board. Statistically speaking, how likely is it that... And then you just go from there, and I don't know, like, it's actually, like, a lot of fucking fun. Especially considering it's just kind of one of those games where it's intelligent, but it's also just shooting shit, is really what it boils down to. It's a lot of fun, actually. Alright, Nezarus has been sent home. Awesome. Or I guess it's Neregus, but... Either way, I just kind of consider him that cocksucker that has the fucking dumb bloody dagger. He is a jackass, to say the least. Oh, whoops, I accidentally hit the fucking trigger. It's okay, these guys aren't nearly enough of a threat for me to think about it, so... Still gonna roll away from the gate there so that way I don't accidentally get clipped. All it takes is one clip through the fog gate for things to get really sideways really fast. So.
Well. Personal belongings, huh?
Yep. That's me, Patches.
The gods demand repentance.
Oh, he's aggressive.
Cough up your coin.
Oh, god damn it. Okay. That was the thing that I needed. There it is. Okay. Okay, I need him to do it again, though. Hey, he's a good boy. He's a good boy, Chad.
Wait, please.
And he's gonna go down like a good boy.
It was bound to happen, son.
There we go. Cool. Alright. With that done, go back to Altus. And it's frankly also just a surprisingly simplistic game at the end of the day, too. I like the fact that you can take it really one of two ways. You can either try and be the mathematician and understand exactly everybody on the board, or you could play the wild card and just say, fuck it, I'm not gonna... You could literally pull a bootstrap bill and not even bother looking under your cup and just play some fucking asshole games. And you can do that, and it's totally possible. And the thing is like, it's that equally lovely balance between, like, intelligent understanding of probabilities and whatnot, but likewise...
I am Tanit, rise, a warrior of promise.
Hang on. Oh, that's so awesome. I love it when I get a fucking Charlie horse. GG's.
Enter now, you the drawing room, but be sure.
Anyways. But it's that intricate mix between, like, decent enough intelligence when it comes to statistics, but likewise, it's also very much so a check on your understanding of reading the room and understanding your opponents and whatnot, which is cool. We need a decent amount of money here. I'll pop 4 of these for ready. Oh. Am I actually... I think we... Well, that might be short, actually, still. I don't remember exactly how much this needs to be, but it needs to be a fair amount. Alright, Bernal. This. Yeah, this is definitely going to be short. Alright, we buy that, and I need... Okay. Gotcha, I need about 1,800 to buy all of those Foulfoot, which I would like to buy all those Foulfoot, so... I think this... No, it doesn't actually cover the cost. I'm going to pop one of these instead then. 1,300. I'm trying to be so exacting here, but the reality is I don't technically need to do that. Not honestly. Still gonna do it though. Can't help myself. There we go. That's everything. Awesome. Alright. So, with that done, we need this equipped. We are going to put this here. Katana in this hand. We need to go ahead and put Assassin's Gambit on the katana.
I took you no matter to lay out your arms then.
There we go. That's everything in place. And now we can go deal with Margit. Awesome. Oh, yo, this motherfucker saw me from down fucking town. Yo, that arrow came out of fucking left field. Ah, good for him, you know, he almost fucking landed that shit. Alright, cool. Whatever. We're fine now. We're safe. Golden Bow, Crag on me balls, Chug, Old Shackle, and we go. Alright, and that is a Old Man decimated. Beautiful. Easy. That on, and that on.
It's titled The Guard You'll Breach. Well, but of course.
Right. Now we're going to spend our 12k right now. I'm going to go ahead and get the 2 points of faith that we're going to need here eventually anyways. And then the rest just gets pumped into strength. Okay, cool. First run, easy, and definitely not hard at all. Beautiful. Alright, grab that grace. And now we can start doing the second part of the run. That was weird. Just watched as, like, nighttime came swishing in there at mass speeds. Alright, cool. Slip my hand about right here. Awesome. Are you fucking kidding me right now? The delayed shot. The delayed shot. Oh, okay. Alright. That's really cool. The delayed shot. I've done that so many fucking times. Legitimately so many fucking times. And I got a goddamn delayed shot there. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna blame that potentially. Maybe it was because it's nighttime. Maybe it was because it was nighttime there. Because actually, for all it's worth, that could totally have been what just happened to me. I'm gonna fucking play this out for tonight, but the fact of the matter is this run is already dead at this point. So, yeah, because like, watch this shit. Yep. Uh-huh. So many goddamn times that I've done that. And tonight was the night where they were just like, it's nighttime. So the other guy's visibility wasn't exactly as good as it normally is. Of fucking course, that's actually... Okay, I have to keep that in mind, I guess, going forward here. Because I don't think I've ever done that with it being night like that, so... That's exactly, I think, what happened there. I'm going to play it out for the early game of tonight, but I think the fact of the matter is this run is dead. So we're going to kill off, unfortunately, the Grundler here later tonight. At this point in the stream, I'd prefer to do some stuff. So we're just going to play it out. Again, weird that I can run through boxes like that and those guys have nothing to say about it. Man, that's fucking annoying as piss. I'm just gonna save quit, or not save quit, but rather warp load. That way I just spawn with all my shit loaded fully. Am I missing anything? No. Well, actually, you know what? I think the last time I did this, I went in with the charge attack talisman. That's just frustrating, though. That is absolutely just frustrating. It's such a minor fucking difference of what normally happens there, and it's just disappointing, I guess. You know what? Fair enough. To be fair, I got greedy. I was trying to go for that stagger, and it was kind of dumb on my part. I mean... This would have been what it would have set up to be if that had worked out in the way that I wanted it to, but whatever, it's fine. It doesn't matter at this point, so.
We'll return together to our home, bathed in rays of gold.
Dude, could you die like 2 seconds faster, please? Thanks. Right, there we go, 46k on that. Alright. Alrighty. Well, we're still going to go ahead and put it into practice. At least for the most part. I'm probably... Funny enough, I think I'm going to actually not bother getting Flame Grant Me this time. I'm just going to use the chicken leg that we picked up instead. Purely because that chicken leg is essentially the same quality and benefit as what Flame Grant Me is. So, yeah, we're just going to do that. We're going to do that as our Flame Grant Me for today on Radon. Just because I kind of want to just go and put things into proof. Also, by the way, get this. Completely avoid having to fucking skip and jump over the arrow instead of what I normally have to do. Pretty good, pretty good. Oh well, you know what? I think if anything, again, it kind of goes to show just how much. And you know what? Actually, I think I just need to take the time soon enough here and just watch and see how Gino does it, because I don't know, but Gino doesn't normally take the fun run at all. I take the fun run just because that's what I've always done, frankly, and like, for the most part, it almost always works out. But it's another one of those examples of why am I skill checking myself when instead I could just be playing around the skill check. And I think that right there was kind of the example of it. Because something I never would have fucking estimated to be an issue for me ended up being an issue for me right there. And it was the fact that it was nighttime. It was entirely, I think, the fact that it was nighttime. I was Assassin's Gambited and it was night the same time, so my visibility was even worse than usual, or rather the guards for me was. So those two things combined together just turned the experience into a shit show. We don't need to go back for any reason right now. Our balls are already leveled up as far as it stands. And we're essentially sending it right now, so I am going to level up, and we are going to send it. Actually, you know what, honestly? With this Exalted Flesh in mind, now that I'm thinking about it, we could use this Exalted Flesh for Radahn specifically, and that would be a way for us to essentially say, okay, if Radahn goes well, awesome, great, then we go get Flame Grant Me Strength, because Flame Grant Me Strength takes more time to go get, obviously. It's not exactly hard to go get it, it's more like it just takes time to go get it. So that could be a good way for us to use this this Exalted Flesh, now I'm thinking about it. Use it for Radahn. That way, essentially, if we're losing time, we're not losing nearly as much. Probably, like, I think in this case, like an extra 10 minutes, roughly, going to get Flame Grant Me. And then also getting it all equipped and shit. Yeah, actually, I could see that working out well. On top of that, actually, we could, well, it's not as deep, but we could do it this way. We could technically have more strength going into Radahn, because then we wouldn't have to do a strength or a faith investment until after Radahn. So that could be good. That could actually work well. I like that idea. Granted, 2 extra points of strength probably isn't gonna, like, make or break a fight, but it is an idea. I don't know why I'm bothering to get that 6, because we're not we're not continuing the run to a point to where we're gonna need it. So man, I love it when he goes to scratch his ass instead of pulling out his horse. Okay, there we go. Ah, shit. My timing was bad. I wasn't immediately ready to horse on that one. Good news, didn't waste a turkey leg, or didn't waste the Exalted Flesh, and I think we still have one more rune arc. Yeah, we're fine. Okay. So we can still put this into practice. admittedly need to remember my button pressing a little better whenever I hop into Radon Arena. I utterly... Where's my runes? Were they on the beach? I guess they were, yeah. Alright, beautiful. Alright, big meaty punch to the brain. He's still gonna probably fly into this guy here, but that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. He has not enough health to really make this count for shit. And luckily, Leonard is right here for us to bully, so we just bullied Leonard. Cool. Alright. Well... the run, unfortunately, is dead on that one, and, it is sad to see, but... I'm trying to think, is there anything we could put into practice or test that would be good to test right now? I mean, I guess in theory, one thing maybe I could test is I could go see how easy Knight's Cav is. Because I don't know really how easy Knight's Cav is, but we could find out, or try to at least. Yeah, you know what? Sure. Let's go see how Knight's Cav, like, the idea of Knight's Cav. Let's see if we can figure it out. I've seen it before in practice, but I am unfamiliar with it. It would mean more kukri usage, but also at the same time, 60k, I think, is what we get for Knight's Cav, or 40k, one or the other. Still good-ass money for early game, especially considering that would just essentially cover all costs and would put us into a very, very stable position very early on. We wouldn't have to worry about as much on rune pickups or anything like that. We wouldn't even have to think about, like, the Liurnia pickups. We would just have all that money already. So, I don't know. It may be an option. But likewise, I am unfamiliar with how to do it. So, there is that. I should probably get the grace that's closer to this, so that way I'm not having to do as much work here. And again, the point of this right now is not to... not to fight the boss, or not to really exceed anything more than what we've already done. It's purely simply to try and figure out how to do this cheese, and seeing if we can put it into practice. It looks like he noticed me. Also, note to self, the little gremlins are right around the corner here, so we have to keep that in mind, I guess. Save quit the game so that way we're not getting hunted down, but... The only part that sucks here a little bit is I think we do have to wait for him to come down to the side of the bridge. Alright, now if I understand this correctly... Oh! Wow! Holy! And I could have foul-footed that. Okay, note to self, fuck Grail. We're not dealing with Grail anymore. I'm gonna figure out how easy... Like, I'm gonna try and figure out how to get over there. Damn, we don't have the easy grace. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna run up and get the grace then, I guess. Because that probably would be fastest. But, as you can see here, one of the issues with taking this route, obviously, is all of the poison caltrips. Other than that, and the small dudes, of course. I mean, both are an issue, because we can't actively save quit like we just did during an actual run. Not unless we are, like, safe. That is the core tenet of what we have to do here. Alright, let me see if I can figure out how to get over here without it being an issue. Holy shit, yeah, just like that, we're up to 49 strength. Essentially translates into... I'm sorry, 69 strength. Just like that. It doesn't really matter doing the level up, but I'm going to go ahead and just do it. Alright. So, assuming I was doing this for myself, from that grace right there, running over here... Is there a... Yes, there is. There is a limb right there that I could drop down onto. Is that safe enough, though? Yes? Question mark? I mean, they didn't notice me. And that's really all, like, that was it. Okay. Alright. We could maybe try and put that into practice. Tell you what. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna start real quickly a brand new character as our way of ending tonight. Well, I mean, I guess if we're starting a new character, then... It will probably use that character when we come back next time. But let's just start a new character, and I'm gonna go right for Caleb. I'm not gonna fucking bother with anything in between. We're just gonna go right there. Let's do cock and balls. Yeah, let's do cock and balls. Alright, money. Alright. Awesome. Okay. Okay. So the one thing that does do is I won't have the kukri that I normally have there, right? That is the one thing that does change here. Or at least I won't have as many. I'll have what I have there, and I was able to do that in 3 kukri. I might be able to do it in 2, actually, but it will probably mean that we do have to go to Weeping, actually, because of that. So weeping may still end up being required. Likewise, I don't know if it's going to fuck with our numbers. It might potentially fuck with our numbers in terms of how our quick kill works against Bernal. But I can honestly probably test that on my off time. Nevertheless, that is a hard thing to pass up on, and I think we should be going after that. That was honestly really easy, and that would be a very quick way to do a lot of very quick early game leveling. So, I think we learned some stuff. That'll make our run at least a little bit smoother for the next time, which is good. That is really good. And by the next time, I mean once we come back to Cock and Balls here. Hopefully. I would love if Cock and Balls could be the next time run. I really don't like having a run start off with like 20 minutes into the run, admittedly, which is usually why I say if a run dies at this point in the night, I just kind of say, fuck it, we're done. But we'll do it this time, purely because I do want to test this out. I think this actually looks legitimately like a very good option. So, wow, five row fruit off that one, not bad. Good pickup. It would also blast our asses off really, really quickly. So, I mean, shit. And the thing, too, is I could actually pick up the foul foot that I'm thinking of on the way there to Third Church. Yeah, we could easily do that, and we could very, very easily clean house. Instead of 42k, I think it ends up being about 60k because of that foul foot. Okay. Alright, cool. Alright, we're gonna go get our horse, and then we're just gonna essentially book it right for Caelid. I'm not gonna take any in-between stops. I want to put this into practice as soon as possible to see if this is viable for us. Forgot about the horse. Whoops.
They sir, but you. I can play turning root to aid you. You need to the foot. Then summon me. Ah, I bequeath. It will some torrent. Treat him with.
I think the 2 to 3 things that we will do here to make our lives easier for next time is I am going to still end up doing what I might normally do here in a general sense. So kill this guy, get the flail. That way we're not thinking, oh, where's the flail? Ah, shit, it's nighttime. I gotta fix that. Yeah, I cannot be doing this at nighttime. If we do it at nighttime, we're fucking ourselves over. The Knight's Cav that's on the bridge is not guaranteed to hit us, but, like, it's essentially, again, a skill check you should not be skill checking yourself on when you can avoid it.
Oi! You there. Could you help us out, Cully?
Our Radon went pretty well for the most part, but I think I don't know, like, to a certain extent I kind of am wanting to mitigate the possibility of having Radon escape with more health than he needs to by leveling our balls up that one extra time. As I mentioned before, we normally save the plus 13 for the spiky balls, but even if we don't get enough, I think we're going to do it anyways. We're going to farm it. At least 5 Smithy 5s, or, you know, enough to make 5 Smithy 5s happen. Just so that way our balls can be at plus 13, and then our spiky balls can be at plus 13. That way Radon is just kind of that little bit closer to a guaranteed shoo-in, as opposed to the alternative. And as I said here, I'm just doing the standard curve around. We're not going to do fort height. We're not going to bother with killing Kennethite or anything like that. We'll come back and do that next time, but yeah. I didn't, you know what, actually I might end up getting the Weeping Grace again. I know I kind of sounded like I was against going back to Weeping again, but as far as it stands from what we learned this last time, I don't really know if my choice made a significant difference. It seemed to balance out to about the same time frame. So I think we're just going to keep that as is, because, yeah, it really wasn't doing us many favors. And we didn't even end up actually going to kill Adula. It's more like we just went and got the bell bearings sooner than later and bought the stones. So, which pretty much doesn't really change a lot. What we will do... You know what, actually, the one thing I think I will do here, I got that Grace good. I will still kill Kennethite and do my standard run over towards Third Church. But it just simply means that next time we come back, we'll have to do Kennethite, or Fort Height, rather. And likewise, we'll also have to do the Strength Talisman. That is a guarantee. So. There we go.
Is anybody there? Someone who might be interested in rescuing... Goodness gracious!
Must.
Blast. Alright, money popped. Awesome. And I'm sorry, I didn't pay attention there, actually. How much time have we spent on this one so far? We're 8 minutes in. Okay. And give or take, in like the next 2 minutes, we're going to have about 43k on our hands, which is pretty damn good. There's all that. Awesome. I don't need the grace for Third Church, if I'm not mistaken. I don't need that. Because we're not coming back here, per se. Yeah, there's no reason to come back here, so we're good on that one. It's really just about getting that grace next to Grail. Alright, there we go. Here's the thing. I know we don't technically need it, but I'm gonna do it anyways. I am gonna get this grace. Simply as an extra layer of a precaution. It simply just guarantees that no matter what, we have something there to protect us in case bad things happen. Yeah, that's probably safe, right? There we go. No little dudes chasing us. Awesome. Oh, it's fucking daytime. Yeah, right, yeah. All the various little things that you have to fucking keep in mind with these things.
Forgive me to determine if you have. It seems torrent, whereas there is, but I can take gathering. Very well. Let my hand.
I don't really need to go yet, but fuck it, we'll go now, I guess. Okay, there we go. Back. As far as unfortunate as it is, I think this is technically our best way of going about this. There we go. Nightfall. Ugh. Alright. That little dude over there. Find that branch again. There it is. Alright, no little dudes chasing me. Awesome. Alright. Wait for this dude to ride up. Great. And then about right there. Oh my god, yeah, he just fucking hops right off. Holy shit. Oh shit, the foul foot. Oh, god damn it. Whatever, 42k in the pocket, just like that. Yeah, no, I should be doing that every fucking time. I should legitimately be doing that every time. There's no question to it. I don't, funny enough, need it at all for Bloodhound Step, because that's not a concern of mine, but the fact that we just went from essentially broke as shit on our runs to, oh, we got money? Yeah, that's pretty good. Don't get me wrong, sucks that I didn't pop the foul foot for it, because we could have had more money, but you know what? Take what you can. And now we don't have to think at all about early game level up, we could just pump levels. And money can pretty much just pump right into everything else. Or at least all of our extra rune pickups. That's really good. That's really, really good. Alright, well, I guess with that in mind, do that now and do... Honestly, I'm just going to pump a good chunk of strength, I think, is what it boils down to. I do not want to have a lot of extra money. I want to have money spent. And I'm not sure if all this extra strength is going to be a bit of a detriment. I'm kind of willing to guess that it might end up being a little bit of a detriment, but I don't know. I don't know, admittedly. Nevertheless, I do want some money left over for next time. But that being said, actually, you know what? I'm going to get that back out of there because I do not want to accidentally... I need to remember and remind myself next time that I'm going to need to do that, so I'm going to leave that off. But either way, good amount of money. We're in Caelid right now, which is technically too early to be in Caelid, but we're still in Caelid. I guess next time we come back, I'm going to actually do Fort Height real quickly because it's easy enough. And I'm going to go and make it daytime because I do not trust the night. But yeah, I literally, as I keep trying to fucking say. Next time we come back, we're going to go ahead and take our main man, Mr. Cock and Balls here, and do our best job that we possibly can. A little suspicious. No. Oh, no, the ballista did launch. It just took a minute. And we're going to do our best. And hopefully Cock and Balls here is going to do even better with the extra surplus package that he just got. I'm hoping that this doesn't fuck with any numbers that I have on Bernal, which we might honestly hit Bernal up without as much. We might go in with a +7 instead of a +6. I'm not sure if the damage is going to overdo it. I'm hoping it doesn't, but we'll find out. Cock, but also balls. Cock, but also balls. You know, sometimes you got to think about it. Yeah, sometimes it's actually it's not about the cock. Sometimes it's also about the balls. Didn't I find... Oh, you know what? Actually, I think I remember what it was. Last time I found out that I think I can stand, like, right here. And make this shot. Okay, not quite. There we go. That's the shot I was looking for. That's what I had remembered from last time. All right. A bit fucking stupid to do this in, like, 80% of the circumstances, but fuck it. We're just gonna... Yeah, fuck it. Why not? Let's fight for no apparent reason other than... Yeah, see? See how easy that was? That was so easy. Now, if only we could do that every time. Actually, I just realized we're gonna be out of kukri here if I do it exactly the way I want to do it. So never mind, we are gonna go down there and handle the rest of it the way that I have been handling it. Okay, fair enough. Still though, I like the idea here. I like the idea of what we got going on. Got more money than we technically need at the moment, which is awesome. Don't have to overthink it as much about our money situation now because of this. I guess I could also maybe save that that 42k for later, after we hit a point to where it's, you know, not as likely to get deleted because we run into the wrong enemy. Beautiful. Alright, not sure how that rat didn't see us there, but honestly, I will take it. Alright, wait for this asshole to come around the corner. I said, wait for him to come around the corner. There we go. Awesome. Cool. Alright, there we go. You know what? It's only because I don't want to think any more about fort height than I have to. I think I'm gonna real quickly just go and do the strength talisman, because I do not want to forget about getting the strength talisman. And it just makes enough sense for me to just get it done while it's on the top of my brain.
Welcome.
Likewise, let's buy the stones off these dude. There we go. I'll buy like a handful more of extra arrows. Sure, fuck it. At this rate, we're honestly just starting a new run, frankly. Which, I mean, that is the idea, but also, I just... I'm not meaning to do more and more. It just kind of ends up boiling down to... I'm doing it right now, so it's like, I should probably just... Fucking exactly what happens. And as far as it stands, I think I am just going to go ahead and continue doing it the way that I have been doing it. Which is to say, I'm going to go into Weeping. In fact, we're gonna go take care of going into Weeping now, probably. Funny enough. Haha. Even more shit that we're just going to do now instead of later. With the angle that we have, we're just going to go right over into it. And it mainly just kind of comes down to, I would rather just do this now, so I don't forget it later. Because we're going to need... Actually, we have one more kukri, which I think is enough for Fort Faroth, and then we don't need kukri for a while. Which, by the time we go into Liurnia, we get a couple more kukri. So we don't need to buy more kukri, but I'm also looking to spend my money down. So that way, when we go into Fort Faroth, if I have to grace out, we can just grace out. Which, we almost always have to grace out. So. Alright, beautiful. Lovely shot. I swear, I'm not meaning to, like, continue doing this like this. I did want to rap, but at the same time, it's fine. You know what, honestly, we're getting more shit done, and I can't reasonably complain about getting more shit done. So... I think I like doing this better anyways. The cave strats that we figured out are nice, but honestly, I prefer being able to go down into the caves and be safer about it overall. So, yeah, I do think that we have the better idea overall right now. And I really, really do not want too much money on me by the time I have to, buy the torch and go through Fort Faroth, because that will be money wasted. There we go. Cool. It's kind of nice, actually, though, because this is going to mean that we just have that much more money to burn through. And ultimately it means we don't have to think as much about it. We can kind of sit a little bit more comfortably almost every time. And maybe, with that extra strength, we might actually pull at least a little bit more damage out of our ass. So that's nice. Damn, I am actually really happy about figuring out what to use that that exalted flesh for. That actually, like, legitimately makes me quite happy, because it really would in fact cut down potential time waste if we only have to worry about getting Flame Grant Me after Radon instead of during. That is really genuinely massive for all it is. There we go, buy that. Go to table, spend the rest of this money on the seal and the dagger at this point. I still have more money than I'm technically supposed to anyways, so it works out. There we go. And look at that. Exactly more or less enough money. Alright, cool. So, next time we take off from here. Wait, did I? No, that's the Farum Great Bridge, my bad. Next time we leave off, though, when we get back, we will be starting off in Caelid, Caelid 1. We'll be knocking out our Caelid routing. And then we have to probably do a little bit of makeup, I imagine. As far as our stones go, we already have 12 and 6, which is good. We haven't yet started our Liurnia journey, which we have more than enough to get done in Liurnia. But money-wise, we haven't tapped into our money at all so far, which is good. That 42k really did do a lot, frankly. But yeah, I think we're going to leave it off right here. Was it different? It was. Do I think it's going to be something we might do going forward? Also probably. And I also probably am going to take a look and see if we'll see, because at least now that I know about that issue in what you call it, I now know to prepare myself for it. So for some reason it's nighttime during the game whenever I get into Stormvale. I know now, at least. But I may also try to see, in this case, how to do it. If there is a better way to do it, then I will definitely look into doing it that way, I think. So, that being said, that is going to be it for tonight. We might be back at it again tomorrow, and maybe the next day. We'll see. Depends. Just kind of playing it by ear, but we'll see. That being said, as always, folks, thank you for joining me tonight. Hope you had a wonderful time. If you did, be sure to like and subscribe. It means a shit ton and a half to me, and it's a really easy way to help out. So, thank you very much if you have already. It means the world to me. And, well, I guess in the meantime, folks, just take good care of yourselves. I will see you all later. Yeah. I'll see you all later. Thanks for stopping in.